It's the 12th of May, and my share for today for my documentary with regard to the human rights violations occurring regards the liberties that practitioners and anonymous individuals have been conducting without consent. As I've mentioned, my bodily anatomy has been disrespected, and formally I have no medical practitioner since medical negligence was first conducted and since the Medical Council was made aware roughly around 2017, 2018. So there have been practitioners that have been conducting offences against my right to have my bodily integrity respected, and these are individuals of a collective, as I have reiterated, that have been of offences against the state and of offences against my good name since 2006, and most recently since I gave birth in 2015. Since becoming a married mother, there have been quite insidious and impetuous behaviours prevalent by individuals with no entitlements, and there's been a lot of illegality, and that's quite serious. Whether these people that hazard to care for the consequences of their actions or not, have not realised or grasped the weight of the consequences they've caused, the burden of the consequences they've caused since offending my beautiful child and I, as of their commencement in this charade in 2016, and then with unlawful actions in 2017. So they've been quite demonstrative in their offences against faith and family, and they have been quite cheeky with my spiritual identity and my bloodline and my ancestry. There's been quite a lot of offence that's quite serious that's been caused, and the relevant agencies that haven't respected the Hippocratic Oath are a huge concern for me, and I'm sure for other women as well. There aren't any women out there in the world that would ever, in their right mind, with the most, superior facilities available, ever facilitate such debased practices that I'm tolerating. Not a single woman, up high or down low, would ever tolerate what's happened to my bodily anatomy in Tralee, County Kerry, Ireland. So this is especially directed towards female practitioners, female professionals, female mothers out there that I hope are seeing the reality of individuals that are really cheeky in this community, in a community collective that have been helping themselves to experiences that are very unlawful, very disrespectful, and not respectful to the role of mothers, womanhood, and femininity, the female anatomy. These people have been quite cheeky. So I live on my own, and I've been intruded upon and trespassed upon very severely since I became a married mom. And not once have any of the individuals that have intruded upon me acted with dignity, respect, or integrity for the Charter or the Declaration or the Constitution. And ad nauseum, the cycle of wrongdoings has been exacerbated. Now, these people are not legally within remit. As I've mentioned, I'm treating their negligence myself on my own on €208 per week. That's the basic that I receive, and I'm a qualified educator, and I'm experiencing individuals conducting financial exploitation from me. So this is really serious, that on €280 per week, as a qualified educator, property owner as well, and a creative artist, etc., there are individuals having a free ride of my work and wealth and purpose, and they're not respecting good practice, and they're not respecting good procedures. So today is another day of individuals in my proximity, causing discomfort, violating privacy, just as usual, disrupting and deharmonizing society. They have been disruptive. And that doesn't exemplify superior behavior. That doesn't exemplify superior standards or good practice or any of the sort. And the issue of false evidence, like, it's very easy for these people to pick up a phone and say they had a chat or a conversation or call into a district in proximity of the person that they're false alleging against and just claim that they met for a 5-minute chat and look, we updated you about this. None of that has happened. As I've mentioned in my previous uploads, I've been isolated. Thankfully, I like my own company. And the people that have been of disinformation, defamation, have incurred consequence. And it's been quite irresponsible. It's not respectful of any profession that they represent, and they're not within remit. So as I've alerted the relevant bodies, the Medical Council most notably, with regard to the medical negligence I've been experiencing, those individuals that are not lawfully practitioners to be discussing me or to be continuing their breaches of confidentiality or anything of the sort, those individuals are not within remit. And I'm treating a condition single-handedly. And that means I have to take samples. I have to take samples of my, everyone's aware of how serious it is when you're looking after your health on your own. And these people are quite cheeky, not only treasonous, not only offenders against the state, not only violating humanitarian law, they're contravening and conducting further wrongdoings that are inexcusable, unforgivable, and not at all respectful to women. So I hope any self-respecting women out there with good sense is aware of what's happened in the southwest of Ireland. As I've mentioned, there's been many developments, and not any of them consensual, not any of them legal, not any of them respectful, and that have been of financial exploitation from my anatomy. I'm a light worker, so this community has been assaulting my light body since I gave birth, and these people have been dabbling in faith practices that have been disrespectful to so many creeds. It's so serious. It's how irresponsible it has been. The Hippocratic Oath is one aspect, but the other aspects of faith that they have missed disrespectfully with are just a very serious matter as well. So they've been of defamation, these culprits. It's a continuous perpetuating cycle of very serious irresponsible behaviour that is not superior behaviour. It's not professional. It's not respecting qualifications of the fields that they represent, and that they're doing so much damage to, whether they want to create a facade of being bigger than the law and paving a pathway of very bad foundations. That's their own objective or perspective, or but they're living off my work, and they're living off my wealth, and they're trespassing onto my patronage and property, and I have not consented to that. And the issue of the medical aspect, the field of medicine, is, where would we be without it? Doctors have a huge responsibility. Doctors have done so many fantastic accomplishments in people's lives, healing and saving and curing and remedying and so on and so forth. But when there isn't professional integrity present, not any of those developments mean anything. When their foundation is based on very disrespectful premises, then their acquisition of development from a person such as this, their progress it amounts to that. when there's no integrity or respect or dignity for the law of what is expected in their field. So these people have been really cheeky, and as a professional living on my own, a qualified person, I am absolutely abhorring this circumstance of these irresponsible conducts and incidents and behaviours that I'm tolerating since I gave birth and since I became, or since I, yeah, in 2015, since I gave birth and became a mom. The issues haven't changed. Ombudsmen for children have still been awaited since 2017. My child is still a missing person. There's still unlawful actions occurring, and it's just a sad sign of the times. So I hope everyone out there that has been conducting damages to my body that I'm treating on a day-to-day basis, I hope they know that the false evidence and the falsehoods and wrongdoings that they're exacerbating without addressing their reparations and amends that they have accumulated, I call it debt creation. Those individuals that are perpetuating the cycle of wrongdoings against my royal titles, my constitutional identity, my constitutional rights, my faith, my family, etc., all aspects of this. I hope they understand where they're not welcome and where they're not lawful. And as regards to the protocol, I hope those that are playing this game and shifting the goalposts with players on foul cards, I hope they know the rules of the game.